Hello and welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
I'm Sean.
More getting into the book right away.
Yeah, we're just going to jump right into it. So we are picking up with the Shadowpact saga. Saga. It's just the first 3 issues.
Yeah.
Shadowpact's not that important. Maybe it is. Maybe there's somebody who has a Shadowpact tattoo. I don't know what that will look like. Maybe it's the logo of the book.
I would assume it must be the logo.
I got that across my back.
I don't know. Maybe somebody has like a David Lynch tattoo, but everybody mistakes it for White Rabbit.
Hey man, White Rabbit. All right.
Like it's David Lynch.
Dude, I love David. I love Dune.
Mm-hmm.
The original Dune. But no. So we started out, we got the cover here of Shadowpact number 3 from September 2006. Of course, Bill Willingham, I forgot to mention last episode, but Bill Willingham, he's the guy behind these stories. The cover is just a inverted image with the villains on it of the cover of the first issue.
Yeah.
There is text on the original version of this. The text is something to the effect of, hey, I guess you didn't expect to see us, but we beat up your team, or something to that effect. And they're actually, it's interesting because they're all kind of in the same poses as the arc. So like even to down to the point where Sister Shadow is holding her hand the same way that Nightshade is. And it's kind of fun. So we start off with our requisite Phantom Stranger appearance to tell us that a bunch of magical structures built in the now dead Ninth Age are breaking down, and the heroes that were established to protect them, protect people against them and their consequences are in this bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Although I like that one of these structures looks like just like a dick. Yeah. this magical dick is breaking down. So, but as we've been following, the Shadowpact team is stuck inside of a bubble made of blood, and inside the bubble made of blood is a team called Pentacle, and they are
shoving villagers into a murder hole
because they are trying to charge enough power to bring in some guy.
It really doesn't matter.
Yeah. So the story, actually, I forgot to mention this in the last episode too, but there's the title of the story is The Short Year of Living Dangerously.
Yes. And I know last episode I said like, being in here for a year would be a lot. Like if that was how much we're going to see in this book, but we find out here.
Oh, we mean towards the end?
Well, yeah, towards the end, because it's like, I'm like, this whole trade is going to be just like back and forth between outside the bubble and inside, but no.
No, actually, they don't do that.
They don't do that.
We get like a brief, we get brief asides, at some points, but it doesn't focus on because at one point, Phantom Stranger's like, yeah, it's been a year and like the National Guard like did a bunch of stuff and it didn't work, It's like, but we didn't see that.
Right.
It wasn't like, we got like Sergeant Rock showed up to do something. But yeah, so the Shadowpact members are stuck, except for Detective Chimp because he was being tortured. But the other members are stuck in these, I guess, hemoglobin. These also might be blood bubbles of some sort.
I think they are, yeah. So
they're stuck in here. Blue Devil is trying to grasp the idea that he may have siblings he doesn't know because another man with horns, another villain or super being with horns told him he does. He doesn't quite grasp that yet. But they're also like, yeah, he's a demon, dude. That's what demons do. They talk shit.
Yeah, they could be totally lying to you right now.
Yeah, so I guess that's just how it is. I'll forget too that Ragman is just a dude in an outfit.
Sure.
He's not like a being, again, like he's not like a humanoid or being or anything. He's just a guy.
Yeah.
So he talks like a guy. So he's just it's like a guy named, look like Ragman just calling somebody buddy.
Mm-hmm.
It charms me. But, he also stinks. You have to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So Ragman, powered by the soul energy of the criminals who make up his living suit of rags.
Yes, it's alive.
So, but we've tried to figure this out. So these criminals,
yes,
like, are these criminals I can't remember if these are criminals he defeated or if they're just, there's this thing. Look, I'd have to go back to the very beginning of Ragman.
It's not worth it.
What?
It's not worth it.
Why not?
Is it?
I don't know. People like Ragman. I don't know. Maybe I would.
Oh, all right.
I don't know. Maybe I would. Maybe I might be.
I find him gross.
Maybe I might be like, sorry, Ragman podcast called Ragtime.
There you go.
I'm surprised that doesn't exist yet, to be honest. But of all the weird people that, do these podcasts, in the general sphere of our, because like there's the Fire Water Network and there's all these other podcast people that do comic book stuff, and they have like people that are very specific about, certain characters. And I'm surprised there's not a Ragman podcast called Ragtime, or maybe there is. I don't know. I don't want to start it.
No.
But I'm saying, if you're listening to this and you are ragged with Ragman, start the podcast called Ragtime and thank me when you do it. But anyway, so they're stuck in this blood. They're trying to figure out like how to get out.
Yeah.
Enchantress reveals that.
Because she's no longer a potato, by the way.
No, she turned back into a regular lady.
Yes.
And she's like, well, my powers basically went to shit once I started fighting Strega. I don't really know what else to do, but I guess but she also reveals later that she was kind of on a defensive and just studying her so she can maybe get the jump on her later, which we will come to find out, because everybody's powers are kind of not in in the right spot. So like Ragman can't talk to his suit, the souls in his suit, his stinky suit, and Nightshade can't do her thing, so we can't teleport because she's mostly a teleporter, but I haven't seen her teleport anybody.
No, because I thought she just made shadow construct-y things.
That's what I thought. I thought she has access to the dark force or the shadow force or whatever DC likes to call it, but I don't see her transporting,
right?
Even though that's a thing she's known for.
I disagree.
Yeah, so we're back to the murder hole, and Strega's like, "Hey, little disgusting shit boy.
Yeah,
Carnival.
Yes, you're gross.
You're gross.
Your powers suck the most of all of us.
I don't know what his powers are.
I don't even know if you have any, but you are also the most sadistic.
You're sadistic
because they're like, "Where's the chimp?" And he's like, "Oh."
He's like, "I don't know. Maybe I'm torturing it. Maybe I'm not."
She's like, "I know you did something because I told everybody not. Did you kill that chimp?" He's like, "I didn't kill the chimp.
I do not kill monkeys."
Nope.
But he will, because he is a sadistic little boy wearing a scout boy outfit. It's weird, and I don't know if this guy goes on to do anything. I can't imagine there is much of a request for this to be, for him to come back. But maybe does he? He doesn't die here, does he?
Who?
No. Okay, I think I'm somebody else. Then all these people die.
Which one dies?
Any of these heroes?
No, I don't think they die.
No, they get away, actually.
Yeah.
Or something to that effect. So this is when we get to see the murder hole in action. This is when Sister Shadow is bringing a dude named Tom. His speech bubbles are wavy because he must be speaking so sad because he's about to die.
Yes. Maybe he's trying to make himself like not cry or whatever. Because like they're like, all right, well, here it is. We walk up to the murder hole and we can shove you in, but we would actually get more power if you do this yourself. And he's like, well, will it hurt? And Strego's like, oh yeah, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be absolutely fucking horrible. But apparently this guy jumps in anyway and he just goes, and becomes like a, you can see a skeleton.
She doesn't push him, does he?
I think he jumps, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the idea.
Yeah, he just turns into like a disintegrated skeleton.
Oh, adolescents this generation have no respect and are a far cry from my sweet Jane Eyre and her friend Helen Burns. Why, just this afternoon I was
Stella?
across, and you know what? Men too. Well,
Stella?
Serious men like the tragic Mr. Rochester and teachers, Pa. They're all like the villainous Mr. Brocklehurst.
Hey, Stella!
Yes, Thomas?
As much as I enjoy, indulging your insanity, we have a promo to record.
Oh dear, and what might that be?
That is you and I telling everyone that we have a brand new podcast out there. It's called Required Reading with Tom and Stella. Once a month, we will take a look at a single work of literature, discuss it, analyze it, and determine if it's worth its place in the canon.
Oh dear, that sounds delightful.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. And you can find us on the Two True Freaks Network, which is at twotruefreaks.com.
Oh yes, required reading with Tom and... Why is it Tom and Stella? Why can't it be Stella and Tom?
It rolls off the tongue better?
Okay.
Well, that was easy. So, required reading with Tom and Stella at twotruefreaks.com. Thanks for contributing to the promo there. You did a great job.
Oh, you are so welcome.
But this is where we alluded to this last episode, but Jack of Fire and White Rabbit are talking. White Rabbit's like, I don't like the way this is going.
Yeah, he's like, this isn't cool.
I am.
The vibes are off. He's like, this isn't even fun.
Yeah, he's like, I'm an auteur when it comes to villainy and killing.
I am an artist.
He's an artist.
And she has just turned, when it comes to murder, and Strega has just turned this whole thing into an assembly line.
He calls it a bureaucracy, which I think is pretty.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that, but it's definitely an assembly line.
I think he's going a bit too far. But then again,
there's no flair.
Yeah, he's being a dramatic hipster.
But he also has a point.
He actually. I normally don't like to agree with hipsters.
No, but he has a point. There's no artistry to this way of murder. You're literally just shoving people into a hole.
Yeah, and you're not even like you're just telling them they have to. And like, I kind of wish
somebody would run.
I kind of wish we saw more of that.
Yeah.
Like some people, because you can't tell me a town in Wyoming of how many people.
Yeah.
Of like a good, it feels like there's a lot of people in this town.
Yes, it does.
They should show like some of these people who have to be like, I don't give a shit. I ain't gonna let no woman tell me what to do.
Right.
I ain't gonna tell woman which.
Yep.
I'm gonna drive my truck out off this thing. Oh no, I crashed.
Yep.
Oh no, I'm being killed by a fire demon.
Oh no.
Oh no, that Boy Scout is trying to cut my toe off.
That guy sucks.
Maybe that monkey will save me.
I mean, does Carnival show up outside of this book?
I don't know. I'd have to look. But
Carnival with a K.
Yeah. What a terrible name.
It's bad.
Man, there are some bad names here. But but White Rabbit's is like, this sucks. We have, and Jack of Fire's like, the boss wants us to do this. And he's like, well, fuck the boss.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where Detective Chimp gets out.
That's right, because so Carnival comes back to Detective Chimp and he's like, time for killing. And then he's like, wait, because Detective Chimp is not in his ropes. So he jumps onto Carnival and he's like, oh, by the way, monkeys are stronger than humans.
Yeah.
So it didn't take me that long to get out of this. And now I will fight you.
He's saying like, because he's a detective, he's an actual like monkey who solves crimes, I guess.
And a recovering alcoholic. But he's like, I don't really do much fighting, right?
But I'm still a chimpanzee.
I'm still a fucking chimpanzee.
And you should be lucky I am not ripping off your nose and your pancreas,
right?
At the same time,
right?
Because I could totally do that. But he just ties him up. He's like, well, you know what? I know how to beat up a sociopath. And I'm like, cool.
Yep.
And then White Rabbit's like, he goes to see
all the people,
Shadowpact.
Who are like tied up, and he's like, look,
I resigned.
I'm gonna let you guys go because this is just not true art. It's kind of like that meme where it's like
Michael Fassbender meme.
No, it's the meme where it's like there comes a point in every goth's life where you realize you're no longer Winona Ryder's character in Beetlejuice. You are instead Catherine O'Hara's, just standing around complaining about the vibes.
Yeah.
And that's literally what he is doing. That is what he is.
Yeah, no, he gets it.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, I enjoyed fighting you guys, and maybe you guys will get better at fighting. I do kind of like his insistence that he's like, hey man, I am like the best fighter, and like you guys all suck. Which, I mean, to his point, I mean, they got captured.
Yeah.
The only reason why they're getting out is because he's letting them.
Yeah.
So I guess, maybe they should get better at fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, especially that's like the sword guy. I mean, all he's got to do, his sword doesn't really do anything other than just be mystical, or at least to my knowledge. This guy's sword, White Rabbit sword, actually puts you to sleep.
Right.
Just by scratching, you could be like, oh no.
Yeah. And apparently he can do more than that.
But you think about it, like he could scratch a guy, put him to sleep, and then chop his head off.
Oh man.
That's how easy it is for him.
Yeah.
Anyways, he opens up this box that is allowing, is causing them to be tethered. He lets them out, and then Enchantress immediately shoots him in the face with energy or something.
And they're like, what the hell? And she's like, meh, I don't like hipsters either.
Well, she's like, he's an enemy. So, and it also feels weird that he frivolously left his team, which, I mean, reasons are reasons, but also she has a point that he is an enemy. Like, who's to say that he might be like, oh no, I've got remorse, and then try to put you all to sleep with a sword.
Remorse.
So this is where we get Enchantress talking about her plan of how she was observing. She's like, I didn't really lose. I just kind of was watching. It's like that thing where you're like, if you're playing like video games or something, and you're like, man, you're talking a bunch of shit, like I'm gonna kick this person's ass, and then you lose a bunch of matches. Like, yeah, but I'm just warming up. I'm just warming up. Look, man, I need to like get better. I need to get accustomed to controls, even though I'm really good at this already. I need to get the feel for the control. It's not my same controller. Right. Yeah. So
it's like the buttons are in the wrong spot because for some reason they move them around every fucking game. And that's really annoying.
She hatches this plan where she's like, look, I could figure out how to remotely control her powers, Strega's powers.
Okay.
Enchantress is like, I can control these powers from afar somehow. And in order to bring down this barrier, because the barrier has been being built for a century, which didn't seem like the case because it just all of a sudden was there.
And it's like blood bubble. And they also made blood bubbles to hold them in. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very strange. Again, there's some weird things going on here.
Contradictions, you might say. But it's determined that it's like, well, in order to destroy it, somebody has to die. And Enchantress is like, yeah, but maybe not.
Right.
So in the meantime, here's what we'll do. And the first thing is Andre the Giant shows up.
That's right. And he starts like talking to the townspeople.
He is a shadow construct.
Yes.
Nightshade.
Yes.
Talking to the townspeople and being like, hey.
And that's not teleportation. That is a shadow construct.
Again, not teleportation. She's using Andre the Giant to tell the people, hey, stay in your houses.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to fight these people. We're like the good guys. So we're going to fight these people. So don't worry about, them coming to your house and throwing you into the murder hole.
Yeah.
So now we start having a big fight. And this is Nightshade enveloping a lot of everybody in darkness.
Yeah, this is very strange because all of a sudden she's just like, yep, everybody's in darkness now. And it's like kind of like those blood bubbles, but like shadow bubbles.
Yeah, so she starts the shadow bubbles, and this is Ragman and Blue Devil, getting a jump on Jack of Fire. Something here that I don't know entirely how this is, but then again, I don't know enough about these characters,
right?
Because Blue Devil is like, hey, here's Ragman. Ragman is stronger than both of us
because he has all those
when he
souls,
wants to be, because
right?
he has these souls in there, but. Again, I don't understand how the souls, if they're made of criminals, I mean, what if you're having souls like these souls, like, do all these souls have to be like of like criminal bodybuilders or something? People with like massive strength?
Well, maybe it's just like, because it says like soul strength. So it's like, if you're a strong person on the inside, not like physically.
But they're criminals. So they're probably not of good.
No, it doesn't.
natures.
It doesn't mean that they're good. It just means that they're strong. Maybe they're strong-willed.
Okay.
Something like that.
I feel like now the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, I don't understand it. Like I just know he's got this suit that's made of souls,
right?
And rags, and it lets him do stuff.
Yes.
So, but apparently, yeah, they get to jump on Jack of Fire. He's on the ground, and out of nowhere, well, not out of nowhere, but just since they're, all darkness everywhere, Nightshade just makes a giant foot and stomps him.
Yeah.
So I got confused here for a second too, because I was like, this way that he's drawn out here, like Ragman. I thought he was a Spectre for a second. I was
He kind of looks like him. Yeah.
I was like, did the Spectre do something here? Like, what's going on? Because he's got a green cloak. That's a thing.
Right.
Didn't make sense to me. And then they take these other ones, and these other two heroes, these other dangerous analogs of their own powers, and Nightshade just puts them in boxes.
Yeah.
Shadow boxes,
again,
like actual shadow boxes.
It was very weird at this point. I'm like, okay, why didn't you just do that at the beginning?
Well, she didn't do that with the Jack of Fire, because Jack of Fire's...
Well, that's why she did it to him first. Because didn't she do that to him first? Because he would have the power to like fight against it, but she took the torch out or something.
Well, she used the darkness to, keep him, I guess, distract enough so the other heroes can get to jump on him, but he doesn't have. I feel like if you put him in a box made of shadow and he's got like fire based powers, he could just use the light from the fire to dissipate the shadow.
Right.
Whereas these other heroes can't, or these other guys can't, like Bagman can't. And I don't understand exactly though how, what's her face? Sister Shadow is because she could just absorb the shadow.
I was gonna say she's also Shadow. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's like Johnny Storm, where it's like he can absorb fire. Like that's part of what he like. If there's like a big fire or something, or there's I guess a moderate sized fire, like he can't just go to like a giant forest fire and just take it all in him, because it's it would just make him crazy,
right?
Or supernova, but he could do that. And I figured it's like, well, if she's a shadow-based being, she could do something like that, but she doesn't.
Yeah, it's weird.
We don't know where the witch is, we know where the witch is, but the other heroes are just like, okay, what, we gotta get the witch, and then the things start shaking,
right? And
the bubble starts cracking.
Yes,
and we're even on the outside where the dog and the witch lady,
the cool camp,
another witch lady, witch fire,
sure,
is here, and she is
and they
like,
have a camp.
Yeah, they're at the camp. The camp's about to, get covered in blood or something. But Enchantress is doing the power, using Strega's powers against her,
right?
And that allows for the thing to be shattered.
Yeah,
and 2 hours later, Strega got away. I don't know where the other villains are, if they did something with them.
I don't know.
But here's the thing this is the thing you probably would want to talk about now.
Yeah.
The effects of what happened.
Yes. So the effects of what happened. So apparently, like, the bubble breaks, and then I forget who says it. It might be like Blue Devil. He's like, I thought in order to break the bubble, somebody was going to have to die.
Yeah.
And Enchantress is like, well, yeah, but what I did instead was I took a year off of everybody's life who was inside of this bubble. And so therefore it like added up to one whole person. And so then that's why the bubble broke. And Blue Devil's like, is that why I have this insane beard?
He looks like Drew McIntyre.
He really does. It's a crazy beard.
It's strange because I didn't know he grew hair.
Neither did I, but apparently he does.
I didn't know he had to, because he has like a full head of hair and like a nice luscious beard.
Like a nice beard.
It actually kind of looks interesting, like really interesting. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why does he walk around like that? Because usually he has like the weird like goatee, like the double goat, the two.
Yeah,
parts
no,
on the
I'd
side.
rather have this big puffy beard.
He's got a nice luscious beard, as does Ragman, because he takes off his mask.
Oh yeah.
So he looks like he looks like Zach Galifianakis. And then you got what's her face? What's his face? Nightmaster. He's got a big beard. Like everybody's just got awesome beards.
And he was like, so is that why? And she's like, yeah, we took off a year, and that's when they find out that an actual year has passed outside of the bubble, even though they were only in there for like a day. And then they all kind of like, they're like, well, that kind of sucks anyway. We're going to go back to our thing. And they're like, well, that kind of sucks. I haven't paid rent in like a month. That means, or like in a year, that means my place is gone.
But don't you live at the clubhouse?
I don't know. It doesn't specify. And then somebody else says they haven't paid their car loan. So you're sure that's repossessed.
Ragman's car has been repossessed.
Oh no. Do you think it's made of rags?
I don't know what they would want to repossess. They'd be like, man, this smells.
They're like gross.
What does this guy do in his car? Stinks.
What the fuck is going on with this guy?
He's just got all... It's just covered in these oily. He's got these rags in here.
Yeah.
He's got like it's just a bag that says like extra rags. What does this mean?
It's gross.
He's got a bag. He's got a bucket of chestnuts in here.
Like the only way we're gonna fix this is if we take it to a car wash and open all the doors.
It's like Jerry Seinfeld's car where it stinks really bad.
Yeah.
He just gives it up. And then I also like I can understand like Blue Devil having an apartment.
Sure.
Because I think he might be a working actor or something like that. Or working here. He's kind of like Wonder Man.
Well, that was the thing. Because, he was supposed to be like a stuntman, right? Isn't that his deal?
Or something like he was a stuntman, but then he became like some sort of action hero.
Sure.
Or something. It's a lot like Wonder Man. Actually,
Yeah.
now that I think about it. I'm surprised there was that DC amalgam or Marvel amalgam universe. I don't know what Wonder Man ended up in. Probably nothing. But like if you put it would be Wonder Devil, but at the same time it's just the exact same character except he's wearing a mask. He's in blue because they're both like the same guy. They're both actors. Yeah. And so maybe he's gonna have some powers and he's gonna look like Blue Devil. And that's it. That's fine with that.
Oh, okay.
That works for me.
Yeah, I'm like, well, to me that's just Wonder Man wearing a costume.
Wonder Man it's just Simon Williams with horns.
Yeah.
That's
what I mean. I'm like, it's the same guy.
He's got a trident. It's a W. Yeah. So he's walking around like the Warlord, the rest of the Warlord, who used to have a staff that was had a W on it.
Nice.
It was pretty sweet. Actually, he had the Warlord, the 1990 to 92 version of the Warlord in WWF had one of the more interesting costumes for such a shitty wrestler.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, he looks great, but it sucks that he's not good. He's not a great wrestler.
Right.
I guess that's the end of this book because now we got to jump to issue number 4. And I guess that's where, because the way this trade goes is that we did 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
And then, we got issue 5, which carries on the main story. But I think the next issue has to do with Blue Devil.
Okay.
And like I'm assuming the effects of his house,
possibly having
his apartment.
His apartment. Yeah, or something to do with the family.
Or or the family, hey, maybe we'll get to figure that out. Yeah. That's something that I'm okay with. Maybe he'll be Wonder Man. I don't know. Maybe there's a secret Simon Williams sighting in here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that Wonder Man series that I hold so dear, which unfortunately was written by a real terrible person.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Hollywood based thing. And that's what Blue Devil's like ongoing series was like too.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised I'd never glommed on to that. Maybe it might be fun. I might have to check that out. Cause that's what I'm kind of getting from this. I'm like, I'm actually interested in some more of these characters. I'm interested more in Ragman now. I'm interested more in Blue Devil.
Sure.
And I'm kind of wondering what's his face's deal is.
What's his face?
The chimp guy. Like I didn't know he was a boozer and then he's a recovering alcoholic. Like it's just. I thought he was just a monkey that I don't even know what his deal is. He's just a monkey that solves crimes and he talks. Like,
why does he talk? Is he an experiment?
I don't know.
Right, I don't either. I'd have to look that up.
It was the 28 days later monkey, but like one of them went right. He was the only one that
he was the one. He was the one who went right.
He's like all those other guys. Like man, all my other friends are fucking up. Look at London now, Jesus. But anyways, that's gonna be for this week's show. Be it. Please, thank you for. I'm all verklempt.
Yeah.
By Detective Chimp. Thank you for listening. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at the usual places, and of course, you could rate and review the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Review it. I like to see some reviews.
That'd be nice.
And I guess Spotify, you can also rate things, and there's ways they've kind of expanded that. So if you're able to help us out there, that'd be great. That does help us get some more visibility. Also, please find us on YouTube. My channel is Angry Hero 79. You can go there and find the playlist of the podcast that is updated every week when the new episodes come out. Or you could also just search Worst Collection Ever podcast on the YouTubes and find us there.
Yep.
So I think that's going to do it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.